Hello, welcome to Terra Science. I have a great pleasure to have Dr. Wei Wu with us today from CDFA, California Department of Food and Agriculture. Dr. Wu is a senior environmental scientist with the Fertilizer Materials Inspection Program at the CDFA. And we are going to talk all about how to register labels, the new exciting advancements in microbials. So it's going to be a really good discussion. And if you have a fertilizer or organic input material product, or you've always wanted to learn more about how regulation and registration works, this is the podcast to listen to. So, Dr. Wu, welcome to Terra Science.
Hello, Jack. Thank you for inviting me, and it's my pleasure to be here. Um, and then I would like to share the information about CDFA and our program, specifically on fertilizing material registration and inspection.
Well, that's great. But for all our guests, when we have them on, we ask them how what was their journey first. How did you get to CDFA? How did you end up in the regulation of fertilizers?
Yeah, so my journey is pretty long. I got my education background was including chemistry and biology, microbiology, and molecular biology. I got my PhD in Canada and then moved to US. I started my career as doing research and also teaching career in college. I've been the college faculty for a couple years. And then after moving to California, the organic input material program was just a right time to implement. And then they're recruiting someone. And then they saw my background. Before that, all the states use USDA NOP programs. At the state level, there is no regulation. And only USDA has its regulation. And then they have some certifiers. Before 2010, in middle of 2000, about 2005 or 2006, some incidents happened in California, and we realized that it's really important to regulate organic farming in California by ourselves. So they started a bill, and then when the bill passed, I'm the one of the person to start and implement this program. And I've been
Okay.
working since then. At the beginning, we have to set up all the review protocols. So we use USDA NOP standards. That's the same standards no matter which states. But for each reviewing agency, we have the way to interpret, how to implement, how to interpret, how to review the actual cases. So that's how we have to build up. So it has been, since then, I've been working for this program for 15 years. And our program, this OM program has been running for 13 years, about 14
Wow.
years.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we are a pretty mature program. We are still evolving. Every day we learn new things.
Yeah.
That's how we promote and support innovation. We receive a lot of innovative ideas every day.
Yeah, actually, that's what I was going to ask you. So, California Department of Food and Agriculture (CDFA), you're mentioning that how the organic input material program came about. So, this innovation. So, I think what I'm hearing is really exciting that you actually listen to how changes, how advancements are occurring, and what are the new needs. Like during 13 or 15 years ago, when organic materials or all these other inputs were being more utilized, that's when this new program was started. So you're always looking for where the trends are going and where changes are occurring. So that's really great. And I mean, that leads us into a general discussion about what is the role of CDFA then. Maybe we start with that. What does CDFA do when you're looking at all of these different inputs?
Right. So just to give you general history or general role of CDFA, California Department of Food and Agriculture, it was created in 1919. At that time, it's just called Department of Agriculture. not including food. It is one of the earliest departments created in California because agriculture is a major industry for California. Nowadays, there are about 70,000 farms and ranches within the state. This is about $50 billion industry that generates at least 100 billion in related economic activities. The major goal or role or mission of a CDFA is to create or strengthen a fair, a diverse, and a resilient food system and agriculture community. Because to face nowadays the changing climate and this changing supply chain, we know that globally there's a lot of uncertainty. So we focus on collaboration with stakeholders, and we promote and support innovation like recycling, and this is clean energy, all these things, and then reuse all these materials, and then make sure that California grown products continue to stand out for its quality, for their quality and sustainability, nationally and globally. So we exported to many different countries. We are the salad bowl for the whole US, right? So
Right,
it's a very
right.
important. And then CDFA have, besides the administration part, we have 5 major divisions and many programs covering from animal health to the plant health, including feed, fertilizer, so disease and pest prevention or control, to the marketing, to the inspection service, to outreach and education. A lot of aspects. And I'm specifically working for the fertilizing material registration and inspection program for 15 years. And then our program, I'm more familiar with this program, so can tell you more about that. So we receive, we receive the applications, and we have to register each product and then licensing each fertilizing material companies. And we have to make sure all the materials that we have make sure the customer will receive the products that meet the quality and quantity that guaranteed on the label. So
Right.
that's our
How
job.
many
So
applications do you receive, like on average? Uh,
so
Maybe.
so far for organic input material, we have approved currently we approved over 2,600,
Wow. Okay.
2,600,
So yeah,
and then there are
yeah.
many of them under review and
Uh-huh.
under renew and review. So some of them is brand new. We're still reviewing, and then there are also every 4 years they have to renew it. So that's
Okay.
another several hundreds of them, and then this is just organic part. And for the conventional fertilizer, that is a chemical fertilizer, right? There they're triple the amount.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, so we
So
have
6,000. Yeah.
yeah, we received the manufacturer not only in California, in all different
Okay.
states, and all from
Right.
imported from different countries. Yeah.
Okay.
So as I said, so we have California fertilizer material law and regulations. That is all of our labels have to follow. And for the organic products, we have extra standard, which is USDA NOP National Organic Program. They have standards we have to follow. And then we have the reviewer group. We
Uh-huh.
review the initial application, all the paperwork, all the information, what you tell us, and we have to make sure that compliance with the standards, the law and the regulations. And we also have an inspection group that to close the loop or to verify that everything in production that is actually consistent with what we reviewed, what we received.
So these are visits actually to the location, and to monitor, or to analyze that things are being manufactured in the proper way. So
Yes.
if someone is looking to apply through this program,
Mhm.
what is the process? Well, how does this work? So you can maybe walk us through how does one start applying for this?
Yeah, actually, I can show you a roadmap. Let me see if I can share the screen. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah, great. This is
Yes.
a full screen one. So this is a roadmap for this is showing OM registration, but actually this is for all the product registration. And then for the conventional, there's only the top part, and then the organic they have extra. So I will put them together. We can talk about it. So if a firm is a brand new firm and interesting to manufacture or distribute products in California, then this firm firstly need to get a license, which is the licenses for every business location. So that means you have a headquarter, an office, and then if you have a separate address location for the manufacturing location, they need a separate license. And then the license fee is $100 for each license, and then it needs to be renewed every 2 years. And then under this firm name, so who need to get license is whoever be the guarantor of the product. So the guarantor could be the manufacturer or could be the distributor. So it's your business decision. And then whoever the guarantor need to get a license. And then under this guarantor's name, um, you can register multiple product labels. We register labels, not only products. So same product, sometimes you put a different labels. That's a separate registration. And
Oh,
then,
okay.
yeah. So you can have a one product. Say you only register, only want to guarantee the nutrient part, the plant nutrients part. That's one product. And then the other label you want to guarantee, emphasize the micro components.
Mm.
You can. It is your marketing decision. You can create two
So
labels.
even if it's the same name of the product, you may still have two different
You
labels,
can No, you cannot use
right? No.
exactly same
Okay,
name.
so it has to be
Yeah,
two different names. So
right.
when you have two labels, even though it's the same product, you can have two names, and then that guarantee two different aspects of it. Okay.
Right. Because some marketing, they said this product is, or they're slightly different product, and then
Okay.
this is for rose, and this is for tomato, or something like that. So
Okay.
that's just marketing ideas.
Okay.
Or the different product have a different particle size. For us,
Uh-huh.
that's a different labels. The
Right.
granular
Okay.
or the powder,
Right.
fine powder, that's a two separate registration.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
I did
yeah,
not know
if
that.
right. So
Yeah.
a lot of people get confused. That's
Yeah.
our requirement. And if it is for conventional fertilizer, and then that's it. So we only review the labels, and then if they pay the registration fee, now we have a 4 year cycle, and then
Uh-huh.
so we only review the labels. Then that's for conventional products.
Okay.
But if the product is sold to organic farmers. It's used for organic crop or food production, or you claim for organic gardening. That will require additional review. That is, we have to verify the USDA NOP standards, and then we have standard forms for you to fill it up. A firm agreement. We need a formula sheet, so you have to list every single ingredient in your formula, and then a declaration that's declare that you are not using GMO or some radiation. You just sign up that form. So it's a standard form. But the major thing is this formula sheet. You have to disclose all the ingredients add up to 100%. And then we have to review the manufacturing process for each ingredient and the manufacturing process for the final product, how you blend it. And then depends on the product type. There's some special requirement. For example, if it's a compost product, we will require the CN ratio, the pathogen analysis, and the composting log. And if it is for microbial products, we will request the microbial analysis and the method, how you analyze, determine the identification, how you determine how you enumerate the variable units, and also pathogen analysis. So these are special requirements. And after we verified all these, and we will verify the product guarantee, the label guarantee, the label claims, and then if everything meet the standards, and then you will get this registration, and you will be able to use this OM logo. So it's a registered organic input material by CDFA. So you are allowed to put this logo on the label. Of course, it's not mandatory, but you
Yeah.
yeah, you
After,
have
after all of
option.
that hard, after all the hard work, I think that that's a good
Yeah, you
thing
want to put it
to
on.
get.
Right. So, and
So,
then
yeah.
after all these process, the inspector will randomly sample the products, regularly visit the manufacturer, the firm, to make sure it's still compliance. And if it is a product, it's a liquid fertilizer, over 3% of nitrogen, contain
Hmm.
over 3% of nitrogen, based on USDA requirement, mass balance inspection twice a year. So that's a very
Oh,
special
okay.
requirement. Yeah, for microbial product, we don't do every year. We probably every 2 years or something. Yeah.
So the source of nitrogen can be organic though,
Source of
or
nitrogen, yes. So uh, based on the NOP standards, uh, most of natural products, non-synthetic products, are allowed. So they are natural, right? They are organic source of nitrogen. But we have unless accepted those on a specific list. There's a specific list in the NOP standards that is synthetic allowed, because there's no alternative, or there's no sufficient alternative in nature.
okay.
So we allowed. We can talk about this is a separate topics, but here is just the general picture of the OM registration. There is a website. There is a labeling aids for anyone have interest under this link. So this is the fertilizing material registration labeling aids. Under it, they have this licensing registration labeling guide. And then we will talk about this later, FCC data guideline. And then, so if you
Uh-huh.
click the labeling guide, they will tell you this, including licensing, registration, and labeling guide, will give you a very detailed instruction and easy to read. It's based on our law and regulations. But law and regulations sometimes are hard to read, hard to
Yes, and
digest.
and I can
This is,
affirm to that. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So this is the guide
Yeah, no, it
that
is. Like I
you
was
can
saying, we
follow.
have been through a process, and I think we found these to be very, very helpful ourselves. So maybe we can another topic that comes up, and this is, I think I kind of maybe know the answer to this, but I hear this a lot out when I'm talking to people. Because the bigger question, when people have genetically engineered microbes or genetically engineered products, how does that compare to organic? So maybe we can specify whether organic input materials, how are they different from genetically engineered, and whether there is an overlap between the two.
So based on USDA NOP standards, GMO is not allowed. So that's why there is a declaration form you need to sign. So, for example, the soy protein hydrolysate is an important source of nitrogen. It's an
Hmm.
organic material, it is important source. But soybean, there are a lot of GMO soybean. So the protein hydrolysate, it is a major topic. But because if the process it's already gone through the high temperature, and then all the protein are already degraded and break up and already hydrolyzed, which is allowed. So, but however, if it's a soybean meal, right, it doesn't gone through all this high temperature or hydrolyzation.
Not processed,
it's just,
not yet
not well. It is processed. It's a physically processed, right? You only have the bean, but you only grind it physically, break down to powder. The protein's still there. In that case, the source has to be non-GMO. We cannot accept the GMO. And then for all the microbes, we have to ask the manufacturer if you've gone through any genetic modified. It has to be if it's naturally isolated, that will be fine. But if it's genetically modified, it will not be accepted. And then for any enzyme product, the enzyme cannot be produced by GMO microbes.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. The reason I ask is, there is a I've seen in the last decade even there is a huge effort in genetically engineered microbes for particular aspects, and so they have to go through a different pipeline. Then, right? They're completely, and it's a longer pipeline, a different pipeline for that product, right?
If a GMO microbes still can register as a conventional fertilizer, cannot be the organic. Cannot be used for organic production.
Right. Okay. So coming back to the organic part, then we just kind of looked at your guide to the label and to what are the requirements, what should be on the label. So when somebody's looking at a label, what kind of things can people put on there?
Right. So the link I just showed you earlier, in that guideline, they gave you very specific samples. Because for our registration, for all the fertilizing materials, we have different categories. We have a commercial fertilizer, and then we have agricultural minerals, and we have those product that does not have plant nutrients, like a micro product, right? And or some like potting soil. Those products are called soil amendment. The different product type, they have the different requirement, but the basic information are all same. You have to have a product name. It has to be a unique name. Under your firm name, it has to be unique. You can call it compost, but the other company also call it compost. That's fine. But under your own firm name, it has to be unique product name, and you have to have the measurement on the label, right? Including both US and metric units. And for liquid, you need a volume that's required. For dry product, you have the weight measurement. The guarantor's name must be present on the label and the address. The guarantor's name should exactly match with your license, right? If it's Inc. or LLC, you have to make sure it's exactly match. Then most of the product label will require the purpose of the product. You have to declare, have a purpose statement and also directions for use. For the plant nutrients, if you guarantee NPK or some secondary or micronutrients, you have to have the nutrient guarantees. That is the guarantee analysis, derivation statement. You have the grade, which is NPK. If you guarantee NPK, then the grade has to be on the label. Or if it's not a plant, nutrients, then you have to have an ingredient list, right? Either the soil amending ingredient list, or nowadays we can talk about this later. Now we all call it beneficial substance. And then also you have a list of your active ingredients, or a list of microbes or enzymes. Basic requirement. So again, if maybe you can share this link later, but that is a very useful source. You follow that about 10 to 15 pages of the guideline, and you find a specific section that match with your product, it will be very easy to create
Yes,
a
and like
label.
I said, we've been through this process, and we found that to be very useful because the guidelines, it just guides you to every specific aspect, and you see where those matches are for your own product, and it's very helpful. So you briefly mentioned beneficial substances. I think there are some really exciting changes coming through the definitions of beneficial substances.
Yes.
So maybe we can jump into that
Yeah,
now.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So this is a very new change. In 2024, a bill was just passed for this new definition of a beneficial substance. And then so we can reclassify the fertilizing materials in California. The purpose of doing this is a part of our effort to unify the labeling format throughout the United States. Because before in California, we have soy amending ingredients and non-plant food ingredient, or ASPS. So these are other states doesn't use this definition. They don't classify this, and then different states have a different requirement. So it's hard for a manufacturer, a company, that if they want to create a one label throughout the different states, it's very hard for them to register, and then they have to print out the different label versions. So that's ethical. That association, which is Association of American Plant Food Control Officials, this is an organization that try to unify the format, unify the standards. So that's our effort. We propose, submit a bill to governors, and then finally it's passed in 2024. And then so in 2025, we start to revise our regulation. And then by the end of last year, actually it's passed. Now we have a beneficial substance, chemical and biological use, which is formerly known as auxiliary soil and plant substance. That's non-plant food
Okay. Yeah.
ingredients.
Right.
So, so besides the labeling requirement we just mentioned, the basic requirement, then you need a heading that contains beneficial substance. Or if you already have a plant food NPK guarantee, then you said also contains beneficial substance. And then you will have to list the percentage of each active ingredient, right? So some examples is the microbes. For microbes, not only the percentage of the active ingredient, you have to list the variable units, how many CFU per gram or per mil, or how many propagules or spores per gram per mil, those kind of thing. If it's a humic acid, you have to put the percentage. And then the other category is also beneficial substance, but it's a physical. It's a solely through physical means. So it's not through biological or chemical. It's not a wetting agent. It's not a microbes. It's just soil amending ingredient. It's like peat moss, or it's clay. It's solely physical means. And then for those, you don't need to list the percentage. Just provide a list of ingredient, but you have to list in decreasing amount present. So if you
Okay.
have something that is 80%, then you list first, and then you list the second one 10%, the other one 5%, something like that. So again, this is also included in this labeling guide.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great, and I think unifying the definition with the beneficial substances should make it a lot easier for manufacturers, especially going from California. And I think this is where we can also mention that I've heard this in the industry, that California is one of the toughest regulation processes, and once if you get through that, the learning that you acquire and everything that you learn from this process makes it easier to go to maybe other states. This is just talk in the industry, but then we also get into then how are the microbials then being developed at the CDFA level?
So for a long time, CDFA recognized microbe, and we register microbial products for many years. And then, but before that, it's we are very few states. I'm not saying we are the only state. We're very few states that really review the data. We make sure that it is beneficial microbes, because someone, they could list some microbes. We said this is only have a human benefits. It's a probiotics for human, or this is for food industry, right? It is good to make bread, but we don't see there's a benefits to the plant growth or to soil. So we have to review it. And also we make sure this is not pathogenic microbes, not pathogenic
Right.
to human, not pathogenic to plants or animals. So these are all the things we have to review. Or this is like a pesticide. It's not, there are some benefits, but it's not as a fertilizing material. So that's all we have to review it. And then the most recent change, is also exciting change, is ethical already prove a list, because this is also a national trend that a new bill try to accept the new definition of plant biostimulant. And the plant biostimulant, by definition, is that it can benefit plant growth, not through
Nutrients.
plant food, not from nutrients. So we try to prove some of the biostimulants, plant biostimulants, and then this is also a new, the new change. Actually, I can share you our page link. Is showing that we have notice to industry. Can you see it?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So under this page, under this fertilizing material inspection program, if you go to the fertilizing material resources, here is a fertilizing material notice to industry. And here is this beneficial substance plant biostimulant labeling.
Right. Right.
And then, so at beginning, they talking about this new definition of beneficial substance, and also the definition of plant biostimulant is showing what can be considered as biostimulant. And then the second page talking about, that's what I just mentioned, the labeling requirement for this is for chemical and biological benefits. You have to have the contain beneficial substance heading.
Right.
And then
right.
you can also list the soil amending ingredient at the bottom. And then for the plant biostimulant, it is also talking about. So this is a kind of an older notice. We are generating a new notice. So by that time, we just recognize humic acid and then seaweed extract as the plant biostimulant. And then now we are adding microbe.
Right.
So for the microbe list, you will go to this registration labeling 8. And you can see this is newly added. It's just added 10 days ago. The microbes recognized. So not all the microbes recognize are biostimulants. So here, this is the first list that AFCO approved. And AFCO is working to expand this list. They will add more microbes on maybe later this year.
Oh,
But
this is really good information. Yeah.
Yes. So these are for these microbes you can claim as a plant biostimulant, but doesn't mean that if the microbes not on this list, actually CDFA still accept them.
Okay.
So
So that leads me
the
to two questions. Yeah. No, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I'm just saying that CDFA still accept additional microbes
Huh? Right.
not on this list under a larger, more general umbrella as a beneficial substance. So you can still list under the beneficial substance, but cannot claim as a
As
biostimulant.
biostimulant.
Yeah.
So let's say that there are multiple microbes, and some of them, one or two, fall under the biostimulant list, and then the others can be beneficial. So you can have both. So you can, on the label, you can then say also contains biostimulants, or
No, no.
no,
So
no. Okay.
say if you have a 10 microbes,
Uh huh.
maybe four of them on the list. So you list all 10 under beneficial substance. So
Okay.
when you list the labeling requirement, the guaranteed parts, there's no
Uh,
difference. You list them all.
right.
But
Right. Right.
as long as you have a one on the list, you can put biostimulant claims
Oh. Okay.
on the label. So in your
Okay.
general description, say this
Yeah.
this product can be work as biostimulant, or you can
Okay.
specifically point out these microbes, this specific species function as a biostimulant. But you have to say
Okay.
plant biostimulant.
Plant
Biostim,
biostimulant. Right.
yeah, biostimulant is very broad. It's more general term.
Right.
So
Right.
we only allowed you have to put plant biostimulant. So either
Okay.
way, you can say these several species is they are plant biostimulant, or you said this product contain plant
Right.
biostimulant.
Right. Okay, great. Well, this is really exciting. I mean, I am amazed at how much thinking and planning, because this is a complex area, and I think you've come up with a very unifying way somehow to make it all sense. This is really I can see how much work may have gone into all of this. It looks pretty straightforward at from here, but I can see a lot of work, and I see the list is bigger than what we were looking at even a year ago. This is a pretty long list. So how
Um,
does,
Actually, it's a
yeah,
shorter
no,
than the CDFA list.
okay,
We make a lot of efforts in this to
uh-huh,
verify all this information, and we have to make sure all the states accept them. And then
right,
CDFA is a major contributor to this list because
right,
it's based on our list, but
uh-huh,
not everything our list accepted. So and other
okay,
states also contribute some, but we spend like I'm part of it to
uh-huh,
review every single one and make sure there's no pathogenic issue. And then
right,
the current list, we make sure they don't have a pesticide function. And then later on, if when we expand it, we're still discussing for some microbes, they are dual function. They can
right,
they have a benefit as fertilizing material, but at the same time, they also have a pesticidal or herbicidal function. How do we deal with it? So we're still discussing that. That's
okay, yeah,
a lot of work. Yeah. So California is a big contributor to this AFCO
well,
list.
the challenge in that is that research always continues. So
Yes.
so some microbes that may be in the biostimulants list, and then someone else discovers that they have some pesticidal effects, then do they keep jumping, or you can have those two lists like you said, and then you can still use them as biostimulant, but you can mention their pesticidal activity, or but
No,
we
the
don't know
pesticide.
yet.
So
Yeah.
currently, on
Yeah.
our fertilizing material label, we are not allowed to mention pesticide
Okay.
unless you also have an EPA
I
registration.
see. Right.
So
Right.
if you
Right.
have a dual registration and you have an EPA member, maybe.
Huh.
But
Okay.
general speaking, we do not allow the pesticide claim. If you want to, the as I mentioned before, same product they can have
Hmm.
you can use as a fertilizer, or then you can also use as a pesticide. Then you have to create a
Right.
different label, give it a different
Right.
name, a slightly different
Yeah.
product name to self-separate in different channels.
Right. And for that, they have the EPA regulation has to be done. So I mean, all of it makes sense in terms of the regulatory aspect. So your interest is in the beneficial and this list. So how do you add new microbes to the list. So when you get applications, you review them, and
Mhm.
then do you automatically add them, or is there a request from somewhere, or how? Yeah.
Yeah. So first, there are two parts of this question. So ethical will be dynamically revising this list. As you
Okay.
said, like it cannot be every day, but maybe once a year or twice a year to review this list and then see if there's new microbes that we can add on to it, or there's some controversial or some species has some new issues, we may take it off. So it's definitely we're monitoring this. But as a brand new microbes, we never ever proved before, and it's not commonly used. We have to review the data. So to as a new microbes, there's a one either new microbes or this is a microbes that we approved before. However, you want to claim a new benefits. You have a new claims. You want to add some new benefits that also require data. So for the data, there are two ways. Um, One way is the firm can set up a series of tests, and then do all the research by themselves. They design the experiment, they have to design the methods, and collect all the raw data and analyze it. There is a certain requirement of it. So when you set up the experiment, you have to set up and make sure there's a controls, right? There's replicates, and then they have the all the result have to show with a statistic analysis, right? So you generate a whole report. It's basically, if you are a researcher, you know when you're ready to publish, you have to generate a
Yeah.
full report to
Right.
us for review. It will take a lot of time, efforts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another way is if you can search to see if any peer-reviewed articles already publish the
Uh-huh.
data. You can use it as a reference. So then we can review those papers. Make sure you send us a full article instead of just abstract.
Right.
Or we cannot accept just a review, like the annual
Mhm.
review from some
Right.
journals. It has to
Right.
be research articles, and then that article should already include material and methods, and the results, and analysis and discussion, the conclusion, right, and show the raw data. Um, so some common mistake is some people just send us two pictures before and after.
Yeah.
That's not enough. You have to
Right.
describe what you used to make it different. And we have to make sure that you use the correct control. And then there's also some mistake is that for microbes, specifically now I'm talking about for the microbes, the article you send in has to be specifically exactly for your species, for the
Right.
species your claim.
Right.
Sometimes we receive an article is talking about the genus, a general
Yeah.
about this genus, or a different species in the genus. That's not enough. We need
Right.
the specific species, and then also we make sure the study the result is specifically for your claim. It's not for an in vitro study, then some enzymatic analysis, but it's not related to plant growth or applied to soil. Or sometimes it's like purely lab setting. Or sometimes it's about taxonomy and it's not related
Yeah.
to, cannot support a claim. That won't work. So there's a certain requirement. And actually, we have an annual workshop. Our
Hmm.
program provide this annual workshop. Normally, it is in fall, in the like non-busy season. This year, because of some scheduling conflict issue, we put it in the springtime. Actually, it will be next week. There will be a specific session specifically talking about the efficacy data. So I encourage people, especially if you are interested in create this new business, or just as a beginner new into this business, attending to the workshop give you a well-rounded education and then a lot of information. So you can watch to our website. But of course, if you cannot attend or you cannot wait until next year, our website also provide a very useful information. Again, under that
Yeah.
labeling aid, that page, there is FC data guideline. So if you follow that guideline, it will give you a lot of ideas.
And the workshop is in Sacramento. It's right. It's Tuesday and Wednesday,
Yes, yes,
17th and 18th of March.
yes. This year in Sacramento, but every year we will rotate in Southern California or Northern California, sometimes in Montreal, some in Monterey Bay, sometimes in San Diego or LA area. So we each year the location will be
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, which is great. No, so the things that you mentioned about the data for registration requirements, I think those are very logical and really show that how much work that goes into making sure that the data that's being shared is done properly. And it's not something that is easy because some of these data are really difficult to experiments are hard to design. So those are really, I think those workshops are, I'm sure, very useful and helpful for people who want to register and to learn what kind of data they should be getting, and even how to get it, and maybe like you said, they can do it themselves or get it done by a third party. So the
Yes.
other question uh, about data and efficacy publications. So you mentioned that you accept publications and they should be on the
Yes.
same species, and so everything needs to be connected really well. But what if like some people are being working on it and they have a manuscript? They can also submit a manuscript as if before they are submitting, right? You can also accept those.
Yeah, sure. The
Yeah.
manuscript means that you did the study, you
Right.
did
Yeah.
the test by yourself, and then that is like your reports. So even it's not published. So someone it's a patent. They don't want to publish it, or this is internal information. They choose not publish it. We can review those reports as long as you have those essential elements as I mentioned, and then the test is done. On to the plant, and then there's enough duplication, and the warehouse, the greenhouse setting or the field setting is acceptable, and then it's done in a similar soil or climate condition as in California. Sometimes
Yeah.
if it's a test totally in a different soil condition, then we'll say. So
Okay.
there are a lot of details we were looking at.
Yeah, no, it's great. Wow, this has been a really useful and so informative discussion. So, would you like to add anything else? Anything else that you'd like to share? Did we
Um,
cover everything?
Yeah, unless you have a more questions, I'm willing to answer. But I think that's overall all I can share. And then again, welcome to our workshop. And then also, if you have any specific questions, our customer line, our fertilizing material mailbox is always open. It's a fertilizer at cdfa.ca.gov. That is our mailbox. You can send any information, any questions, and then every day we have a staff online. So our scientists, we take turns to answer questions. We have a 12 and 13, 12 or 13 scientists. Our group is keep on expanding. We take turns to answer questions. And then if you request a phone call, we can also call you back to discuss. So feel free to contact us.
No, it's great, and I think it's a really exciting time, and for CDFA as well, because the industry is changing, but I think you're working really hard to keep changing along with the industry, with the regulation, so that there is no bottleneck. There's no, nothing falls through. And I mean, I learned about CDFA almost a year and a half or 2 years ago, and that's when I met you. And I think it's been really exciting to see all the changes, especially with the beneficials, the microbials, and how the list is being developed now. and looking forward to seeing how that integrates the pesticidal effects and the beneficial effects. And the biostimulants industry is growing tremendously. So I think the future seems very exciting in terms of organic inputs and alternative options. I think everyone who is in this industry and developing or thinking of developing new products should really appreciate all the work that you guys have put in to regulate and allow for industry to operate in the state, and then
That's
the
our
state
pleasure.
becoming right, and the state becoming an example for the country. So I think you should be really proud about all these achievements. So and I am planning to be there at the meeting in Sacramento. So
Yeah,
I will be there to
I
learn
look
more.
forward to seeing you. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you. We have about 80 to 100 attendees, and then
Oh, great.
it's a very great opportunity to put face to face and then
Yeah.
talk to people in person.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing you.
Yeah. No, thank you. Well, great. Thank you, Dr. Wu. That was very informative, and we appreciate all the time that you put in to
You're
tell us
welcome.
about all the details.
It's my
So thank you.
pleasure, and thank you.
So, everyone listening here, I hope this was useful. The guides and the tools that Dr. Wu shared, we'll put all the links below. Thank you for listening, and thank you for
Thank you.
joining us. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Terra Science. We hope to see you next time.
And so the two things that motivate me are the beauty of our environment and the uniqueness of our planet, of course, but also the people I've met and the fact that people do want to play a stewardship role. They do. I haven't heard someone say, no, I want to pollute the planet. It's kind of like the tragedy of the commons takes over. And so I see a lot of potential to change the course with the kind of information that we're generating. It's just part of the foundation of the answer.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.